Midwest Medium, it's been a rough ride.
Sure has, Tony.
There's some elements that are really just indicative of society. Let's go over this. Her home, the empty lot that we went to, it's gone. The railroad tracks, it's gone. We saw that. The boxcars, they're gone. Her dad worked at International Harvester for 19 years. It's burnt down. It's gone. The last Saturday matinee in 1955, which you know every kid in town wanted to go to the matinee, it's gone. I personally watched it. No, I covered it. I was a news reporter out of Macomb, Illinois, where a natural gas explosion, one man died who worked for Ameren, another one was severely injured. Sorry. It's gone. The only Anderson School, where she attended, 3rd grade, 8 years old, blonde hair, beautiful. She's gone. The school's gone. You being a medium, you're probably the only person that can communicate with her. It's going to be interesting for people to hear this because you got an insight that almost knocked me out of my shoes. I just want to show you guys my shoes. But honestly, everything's gone.
Yes.
Only thing that's left is just Chloe Clyde, Midwest Medium. I ain't never going away. And Tony Jackson. Sorry. First of all, we wanted to honor our friend, our daughter, our sister, Janice May. Born March 15th, 1947. Rest in heaven. Brutally, savagely bludgeoned to death. November 26, 1955. Time approximately sometime after 1:50 p.m. where she attended her last Saturday matinee, which you guys saw that in the early part of our first movie. Died exactly. She was found at 4:32 p.m. which, because of her being medium, we just coincidentally, after she forgot to bring the camera, she had to drive to a town so far away, which was meant to happen, because we exactly reenacted it at the time where her body was found,
Yes,
at the
we did.
place where it was found, at the time where she was pronounced. We was in that area. I gave you guys a breath of fresh air. You seen how cold it had to be November 26, 1955. Because according to my teachers at the university, because I am university educated, they said that this earth temperatures change because of shifts in the tectonic plates. And it probably was much colder in 1955. I remember in 1978, I'm not going to tell you my age, 51, but man, I remember them blizzards in 1978. Man, it was 25, 26 inches snow. And we still walk to school. Nowadays, if you get 2 inches of school, you can't park on the street, your kids stay at home.
Right.
All right, but anyway, back to the story. Sorry, you guys, I drink coffee. But honestly, that's a lot of elements. I believe that only you can talk and lead us down that road, because you have a gift, I have a gap. First of all, honestly, you guys, in all seriousness, Midwest Medium said she wanted to do something special. If walking in the snow wasn't special, then this will be. honor's yours.
Well, I'm going to light a candle for Janice and see if I can pick anything up. I know tonight, oh, was this candle gonna light, Tony? This just shows me that she is present. Sometimes when you have a hard time lighting a candle, they're present. Okay. Tonight was a very, very sad night. All the way, the walk, the boxcars where they were setting, the home. It was a very, very sad walk, and Janice was very sad. But when we got to the Anderson School, I felt her presence. I felt happiness. Here's why she was happy. She died at 8 years old. The playground there's for little children.
Wow, yeah, she said that.
Yeah.
You could not make that. You see how that flamed up? You got flared up.
Yes,
To be
it did.
politically. Wow, it went from barely could see to like, oh, somebody need to light it again. It literally flared up when she said she was happy because of the playground for her.
Yes.
If you ever want to get a hold of her, show them that money. No, but honestly,
Yes.
I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Wow.
She was.
I'm like having a heart attack right now. I watched this with my own eyes.
Yeah. Well, you went through it with me at the exact times. I didn't know exactly the time that all that happened during the day, but when Tony and I got together, it was the exact time that Janice was sad that day, walking around meeting her death. Okay. But anyway, she is present. I feel her. And the
Merry Christmas.
yeah, we put up the tree. This is my house. This is my tree. I invited Tony over. He had some of my homemade chicken and noodles. He's had coffee. I fed him cookies, whatever he wanted. He knows he can have at my house. But
I got the candle. I got it all.
yeah, but she's present.
Wow.
And she's happy that Tony and I went on this walk. We to show how sad this little girl was to meet an early death like she did, and her happiness. The happiness was at the Anderson School because of children being there her age now at a playground. She always was happy at school. She loved her school and all her classmates and all her friends. So when we touched Anderson School, that was the happy point there. When we went out to the cemetery to say our goodbye, believe it or not, she was happy. When we let the balloons off and we said prayer for Janice, she was happy. And now I'm getting goosebumps because her presence is here. And she's happy that we, Tony and I did this. We did it for Janice. We don't know. We don't know what really happened. We would like to know. This is why we went on this adventure. We would like to know what happened that day, this unsolved murder. We just wished it could be solved. We do. And we just love the presence of Janice. She's such an angel. I'm
Well,
going to give you back to Tony now.
hey, I've been struggling. I like to name and title all of these stimulating segments. The last segment. So when you guys look it up, don't watch it till the end. It's going to be called We Did This for Janice. Perfect.
Yes, we did.
Let's look at this. Jimmy's 12, Billy's 14. Small town, nothing to do. Saturday matinee come. Even when I'm 51, I know that going to the movie theater was like, woo-hoo, I get to go see a movie. Mine, I think, was the Pink Panther, Smokey and the Bandit,
We still like to go to the theater.
Animal House. I got to see different things at that age.
Yeah, we still
Happy
like to go to
Days.
movies.
Well, think about it. In 1955, the 12-year-old went, the 8-year-old went, but the 14-year-old brother, Billy, didn't go. But they never really addressed that. I would tend to think that for 3 kids, and the dad worked at International Harvester for 19 years. The International Harvester was the main industry in Canton, Illinois. They made a lot of money working on factories, at least for that time. They said the way it was described in Scapegoat Justice, he lived in a modern ranch-style home. And they also said brick, if I remember right. It's kind of weird that the house was torn down because brick lasts forever, but the house is gone. That's an aha moment, you guys. Just think about that later. So anyway, so one of my aspects would be Billy must have probably really been angry. I know my little sister, I'm not going to tell you her name. She's no as her though. She's always getting me in trouble and telling me all the time. I used to always get in trouble for anything. She used to have pinch her, and you know when there's a baby girl, you'll get severely punished for something that ain't worth it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So let's just say one thought could be Billy got grounded. He had to stay home. So now he's mad at Janice. She said, well, how did I come to the conclusion? They went to a Saturday matinee. They got out at 1:50. They came home. They ate what was described in the book. What was it? Her favorite meal, they said.
Hamburgers, potato salad, and fruits.
And baked beans. I love baked beans. I didn't get to be a big boy not eating beans.
She said that was her kids' favorite meal.
All right. So let's think about this. The mom was a registered nurse, a.k.a. RN. She went to the hospital. So now we know the mom makes good money. The dad makes good money. The 2 kids with the matinee. But the 14-year-old didn't go. Check this story out. But after they go to the movie, Janice calls her dad up. Dad picks up Jimmy, 12-year-old, and Janice, 8-year-old. They drive him back to the modest brick ranch house. They eat supper. The mom has to clock in second shift at Graham Hospital, which is coincidentally still here. Knows how the hospital's still here though, but everything else is gone. It's kind of weird. Janice, you're going to talk to the Midwest Medium and explain this to me, please. I'm begging you, because I need to know. So from 2:50 until 4:32 exact, according to the book Scapegoat Justice, you guys are going to need to get a copy and read it for yourself. We actually had let's just say, waiting line in Canton, Illinois. And there's a timeline there. A man, Lloyd Miller, cab driver, who drove the kids back and forth to the Anderson school, who Janice playfully referred to as her boyfriend, but she was just probably having a crush on a cab driver. I mean, it's a small town. I mean, 1955, you know. But still, Billy never came into the picture except that the dad drove the mom to work. According to the book, this is not my guess, by the way, because I am a professional journalist, and I would not give you guys anything but pure facts. So from 2:50 to 4:32, according to the story, you know how cold it was today? If you watched the earlier segments, it was that cold. So it said it was bitter and cold and a skip of snow. So they walked. I showed you guys the walk. 6th Street, Hickory. I would say roughly, and they said they carried a basketball. Which I'm going to tell you, cold as it was, would you have been carrying a basketball? You ever had a basketball hit your hands when it's cold outside? It stings.
I can imagine. I know you're right.
So
why the basketball? Why were they going to play basketball November 26, 1955?
With snow.
Bitter
With
cold.
snow, forget snow.
Bitter cold.
They had a TV because they were well-off family.
Mm-hmm.
They were watching TV early because they said they watched. So listen to this. This is what don't make sense. They walked almost to the school, which was roughly, I'd say a good 20-minute walk. Okay. Bitter cold. They turn around, they say, and they go back to the house just to make sure their 8-year-old sister was doing her chores that she was assigned to do. The thing that's funny about that is when they got back there, she was gone. But instead of them going looking for her right away, they decided to watch another television show, which, when they were questioned later, they didn't know how long the show was. So they're not sure exactly what time. Then Billy sent Jimmy to go look for a sister, or either Jimmy was close to his sister because they did go to the show together. So a 12-year-old probably most likely was closer to the 8-year-old than a 14-year-old. Because when you're a 14-year-old boy, you're rough. And you also think you're mature, and she's the baby. She probably got him in trouble. That's just one of my hypotheses. You know, I'm allowed to have them. So anyway, Jimmy said he walked. This is the part that doesn't make sense to me. Midwest Medium, maybe you can enlighten us. He said he walked to his Aunt Claire's house that was by a Kellogg school, which was a block from the boxcars used to be place. But he decided not to knock on the door because he figured nobody went home. Then he went to the grandmother's house that was supposedly right across the street, which is approximately 2 minutes from the boxcars where her body was found. He cut through her backyard, according to the books. He circled the block. He made sure to say he circled the block. You remember when you were a kid how you, like your lights are perfectly, you plan out, I cut through the yard, I did knock on the door, and I circled the block. Mm-hmm. It almost sounds like a fabricated story because what kid remembers?
Too perfect.
Right. So he was walking by the boxcars, which they said were upended, and he heard a noise. He thought that perhaps it was a dog that may have been hit. But instead of him going over there personally to look, he ran all the way back to that bitter cold to the house, and he got his brother Billy. So the 14-year-old and he walked all the way back down. And remember, on our previous segment, we showed Mr. Largent's place of residence and his business place. He ran back up. First, they went to the boxcars. Then, for some reason, Billy sent him to run to Mr. Largent and tell him to call their dad. Instead of saying my sister to her, call the police to call an ambulance, the 14-year-old mature one, he told him to call the dad. And Mr. Largent looked down. Remember I showed you guys that angle, which my videographer, part of the production crew that Midwest Medium and I have put together, freelance style. Mr. Largent came out. He stood. He looked down off into the distance. He saw Billy waving. He ran down there. He saw Janice, and he yelled up to Jimmy, "Call the police." The police came, and according to Scapegoat Justice, the book, the biography, they found Janice May, age 8, born March 15th, 1947, under the tracks, on her knees. The color of her dress was blouse was so discolored with blood that they couldn't give you the color of it, and they couldn't tell you the rest of what she had on because they said she was nude. Which is kind of weird because in a murder, they usually describe every bit of clothing down to a T, but they were, even in a book, they were kind of evasive. And this is a real book. This is not a fiction. This is a real story. Midwest Medium and I is our platform to do unsolved, fireside chat, road to success, whatever it is, we're gonna get it. We're not gonna be the clone media where we only do stories for a minute, 30 seconds, and the next day so much stuff nobody cares. We want to make a difference. We are making a difference. Y'all saw that candle light up. That I honestly heard her say, "Hey, maybe I should got another candle," and it's kind of weird because what did you say that candle represents?
A white candle represents love, happiness. You're trying to reach your loved ones. That's what I use to talk to my loved ones that's crossed over.
And it's weird because I seriously was like, wow. Stop rolling the tape. The candle's not gonna go. And right exactly, and I couldn't scheme this. You guys watched this. If you didn't watch it, because you blinked, because it was that quick.
Yeah, it was.
Right when she said Janice loved Anderson Park, aka Anderson School, that she attended, the candle flared up and came to life when she said Janice was happy because kids are playing and Janice loved school. She just actually established her credibility to me. Not that I ever doubted it, but hey, I'm only human. It got even better. Good Lord, I don't even want to think nothing about her. Because I'm scared she might know.
Be careful.
All right. So anyway, honestly, that's my input. What's something that, you got an element that you kind of think?
I've enjoyed Tony and I's adventure. I really have. There's been very sad times with Janice, and like I said, we never had went to the Anderson School before, but we did today, and it was exciting to feel her happy instead of all this sadness and this gloom, and to see her finally happy. And then she was so happy because we threw the balloons in the air for her. She wanted to know
That was magic.
that somebody
That was magical, you guys.
was
I
thinking
hope you
of
watched
her.
it.
Yeah, I just love the adventure. I plan on doing this again with Tony. We're going to touch on a lot of other bases through our talk show. So I hope all of you will join us. And I want to bring up one thing before tonight ends. We had heard, and I think it was facts, that on the Johnny Carson show, he had an FBI agent on his show, and Johnny Carson actually asked him, if you were going to commit a murder, where would you do it at? And they said, live on the Johnny Carson show, Fulton County, Illinois. That is something for us all to think about. All these unsolved murders. And there is some, and Tony and I are going to touch base with some. So you've got to stay tuned, and me being a medium, I will like to cross over and talk to a few of them and maybe help really get into more of these unsolved murders and see where we're at. You know, something's got to give.
But you got a dad. You hurt my daughter, I'm gonna hunt you down. You don't want an ex-professional, broad-shouldered guy like me hunting you down. Lloyd Miller was put into prison for 11 years, 23 days, and some odd months. He was exonerated by a federal judge because he was put on death row. They said that they feel like the police fabricated that evidence. I'm gonna keep it like word for word what was written in the book. Brothers, they spun their story. Mother, what did they say happened when they brought an 8-year-old victim into the hospital where she was already in that covered up? What was her reaction? They said it in the book.
She was devastated. She was in shock. Her little girl had rapid breathing, and she said she knew she was injured very, very bad. Very bad hurt.
I didn't get the testimony from the father. I didn't read the testimony from the father.
No.
When they were like canvassing the neighborhood, I never heard anybody say they saw the little girl walking at this time or not walking. But they found a body, according to our own reenactment. That's a long walk for somebody in 1955, a town of 12,000 people, to not have saw her walking from that 6th Avenue to the boxcar that we showed you. And you saw when I blew the air out how cold it was. But the Jimmy gave a story where he was at. Billy gave his version. Mr. Largent he had a version. But why was the dad testimony not in the book? Why did he not be like, okay, so where was the dad at from 2:50 to 4:30? And then why did Jimmy said he came down and he was supposed to call his dad? How could Jimmy call the dad at home when they had just left home? What would make him call home? And where's the dad at from 2:50 to 4:30? 2 p.m. November 26, 1955. So we got roughly an hour and a half of unaccounted for time for the dad. Lloyd Miller's story was ridiculous. He said somebody held him at gunpoint and forced him to go to Peoria, Illinois. You know, they found him in Decatur, Illinois on a bus, running. He has some far-fetched story, but he did have a story, and he was exonerated. But a dad is a key character in a daughter's life.
Right.
We protect our daughters. We ride or we die. We live, and we will kill you over our kids, especially our angel.
Right.
Why is there no alibi? Because they always go to family first. Where were you? But why is there no testimony about the dad? Dean Mays, 19-year international horse worker. That's the only thing that was mentioned in dad in that book.
Yes. Why
is there no alibi for where he was at, how he felt when this took place? I feel like there's a cover-up somewhere.
Yes, it's just all not adding up.
Because didn't they go to Anderson School and question every kid?
Yes. The detectives, it's in the book.
Out of the milk room, they questioned every kid. The second grade teacher was the state attorney's.
Mrs. Ramsey, yes.
Mrs. Ramsey. State attorney was.
Blaine Ramsey's wife.
Blaine Ramsey. Who was the state attorney of Fulton County. So everybody got questioned. They went through extensive efforts going to schools, going to Mr. Largent. I'm sure he was a gas station worker. We showed you his house. He's sitting on a corner. When he saw Janice walk by, going to the boxcar, he said, I saw Janice walking at this time. I mean, come on now, 1955, it ain't that much traffic. It's like that kid was driven to me and dumped there. And the only way that a person just fit in and nobody say anything, if it was a car that was not out of ordinary. I don't know what kind of car her dad drove, but wouldn't it make sense that he can drive by with his daughters, drive up the railroad tracks, and nobody would even know that dad car was coming and going, because that is the way you go to Grand Hospital, but still, it wouldn't be like a stranger in town. You wouldn't even know, because the obvious is unobvious. That's something that I, have learned in life. Because that little kid been walking, somebody was like, yeah, we saw her walking at 3:30, 4 o'clock. Jimmy would have said, well, yeah, she was here or there. You're like the lie that Jimmy told, like somebody told him to say that. You're like Bill stayed down there like he knew he'd stay down there. Why wouldn't he run back with Jimmy? I won't stay next to a dead body, my daughter, not my daughter, or not my sister, or not my sister. I'm sorry, but I would ran with, help me! But he didn't do that.
Exactly.
The dad is the missing element. The mom was at work.
We've heard from the mother. We've heard from the brothers. We've heard from Lloyd Miller. We've heard from everybody except Janice's dad. Where was he at?
Dean Mays.
Yeah, where was he at? Why wasn't he mentioned about talking to him from the police? Nothing was mentioned. Where the police, you had Robert Harding, the cop, he was full force, going everywhere, looking for Janice May. His daughter, Ray Jean, also attended Anderson School. He was scared. He wanted to catch whoever did this. But why didn't the dad, where was the dad? That's the big question here. Why wasn't he questioned?
Well, maybe you can speak to Janice about that.
I'm going to try.
And if you ever get someone, we can share that. Right now, it's a mystery for now. But people left Canton, Illinois. One of her being her Aunt Jenny.
Yes, Estes.
Because everybody was scared because in 1955, children or anybody being murdered and left out in the open was not common. So they moved down to a little town called Liverpool. Liverpool, Illinois is a town that is said to have a haunted curse.
Yes.
What they call it, the Black Curse.
The Black Curse at the Liverpool Cemetery, and there was a lot of other things that happened down there.
But we only wanted you guys to stick with us, because Midwest Medium Chloe Clyde and Tony Jackson and our production crew, there's nowhere we want to go. There's nothing that we won't do. And on that note, good night and Merry Christmas to Janice May from Tony Jackson.
Chloe Clyde. Hugs. Good night.
Bye-bye.